What's up? I don't know what that intro was. It's Winslow. How you doing? So today we're going to talk about how I back up things like my projects and keep them safe for future. I have stems, keep the audio, keep the samples, all that. It's real important because when you come back years later or a week later, or when our hard drive dies, you want to make sure you got everything backed up. And I've been on the wrong end of that. If you remember, around this time last year, I was recovering everything from scattered places in Dropbox and folders. So from then, I have a system. Let's talk about that system. All right, so we go in here. Here's a project that I need to back up. It's Sandalwood Nights EP, earlier out on Hospital this year, and for the most part it's kind of all audio. I bounced most of it, but what I'm going to do to start off is go into my project folder. This is how Studio One will set it up. So you have like a folder for bounces and like project history and all these things and samples and whatnot. But then it makes a stem folder. In there right now, I made some drum stems, so I have some stuff to use in future tunes. But when it comes to archiving, we're going to go effects, sends. I make 3 folders: effects, sends, stems, and tracks. Now, there's always a bit of a, not confusion, but just a difference in what you call stems and what you call tracks. So tracks are like the instruments, the samples, the single tracks themselves, and stems are basically the buses for me. So I'll have like a drum, bass, melodics, pads, that kind of thing in the stems folder. Then FX sends is for like reverbs and drum verbs and vocal delays and stuff like that. So that's what I'll set up first. Then go in Studio One. You can do this in any DAW, by the way. And basically go to export stems. The first thing I'll do is name it. So it's usually my little abbreviation, WInslowxyz, and then the project. So this is Sandalwood Nights. I'll put like S Nights. Make sure I'm bouncing a wave, 24-bit, 16 will be fine. It's kind of like a personal thing. I don't know. I feel like I do it just cause. But archival purposes, I might need to remaster, remix later on. So then I'll click my drum bus, bass bus, synths and pads, pad specific bus, effects, vocals. Wait, are there any vocals in this tune? Not in the vocal bus. They're like melodic samples, so I don't need vocals, but if I did have them, I would do that. And then my reverb and delay sends. From there, I'd find my folder. It's gonna be stems, and I'll take out the effects sends and put them in the right track, in the right folder later on. And do that. Let's let it bounce. Okay, fast forward through this part. All right, so did that. Cool. Now we're all in the stems folder. So I got the bass stem, drums, effects, and then like I said, I did the sends at the same time. I'll just take those out, drop them in the sends folder. It's all useful to have just in case later on you're missing plugins or you're missing something that made you get that sound, and you have the audio version. And like hard drive space, is pretty easy to get. Relatively, like I'm saying this as I have like my first DJ drives, which was 16 gigabytes and cost like $50 back in like 2012, and now you can get the same thing for like $10. So hard drive space, just go get a couple. I'll talk about those in a bit though. So now we got FX sends, we got stems for my main parts. This is a simple project, so there's not a whole lot. And then I'll go in and do each track. So like I was talking about, like each individual thing. So like I have my buses right here, like that's the whole synths and melodic stuff group. So I'll have individual tracks in there, and now is a good time for me to like kind of take out stuff I'm not even using in this project. It just makes the project file a bit smaller too. I'm not going to bounce the drums because I've already done like individual 4 like 8-bar loops of them, which are over on this side. If you can see, yeah, Sandalwood Nights. Like I have the drums all together, the kick, the ride, shakers, all that, just to drop into new tunes, which I've been doing lately. Helps you, you know, you make your own sample pack, also gives you your own sound to reference from, you know. So yeah, individual tracks, and I'll zoom through this real quick with the power of editing. So while this bounces, because it's not going to take forever, a good thing about doing this, just like this organized kind of way of bouncing your stems, when it's time to do remixes, I just have a folder already ready and I just shoot it off so people can remix them. It's all organized. They can have as much control over each sound as they want. Archiving purposes, so when I come back to the project, in case I have plugins that failed or I don't have anymore, or whatever settings that did transfer, I'll have the stem. You can use that in like the future if you want to like remaster albums or remaster tunes, remix them, as in like the mix down, not like rewrite them. You have that. All right, so once we have these 3 folders through the project, I'll make sure I'll save, copy any files that aren't gone, remove unused files, like there's a bounce I didn't use, just to make the folder smaller. Then from there, I'll save the project, minimize this. Actually, I have to exit it so I can take the folder and show you the next step, which is, so find Sandalwood Nights, go to my project file. Here are all my project files right now that are like in progress, because I have a specific place for my other ones, which are projects, Studio One projects old. So I have finished folder, which all my finished tunes since like 2016. Session work, when I'm like playing viola or doing vocals or something like that, it just keeps it separate. Sketches are tracks that haven't gone anywhere, and these are like old school projects. So we go to finished 2021. You can see everything in there I've already archived. If we open it up, like this is losing direction. Go to stems, same thing. I kind of stole this from London Electricity. He made a video about how he archives stuff, and he goes way more in depth with like samples and loops and things like that. So we go to Sandalwood Nights EP because I did the other 2 tracks earlier before this, and then I'll paste Sandalwood Nights in there, and that's the entire EP archived. Now from there you can see these little check marks. It automatically, so this folder is linked to Google Drive, which will back it up. Slow internet, it'll take a day. And then I also have the same folder mirrored in Dropbox. So if I go to my Dropbox folder, go to production, go to projects archive, it's the same hierarchy of folders, just backed up into the cloud, and it's not even saved on my computer. I have it, you know, saved for online only. So once it backs up, it's not physically on my computer anymore. At least it's on a different drive, the one that Google Drive is referencing, which is an external drive. So if I try and simplify this, I back it up, I bounce all the stems into a folder. Folder goes onto an external drive with project files and samples and things like that. But it also backs up to Google Drive. That's 2 places. So that's 2 places, external drive, Google Drive. I have a 3rd external drive, which backs up my entire computer. That's 3 places. There's Dropbox folder. That's 4 places. Then, yeah, this is what getting ridiculous about backing up does to you. Then I have Backblaze, which is another cloud backup. Backs up my entire computer. $5 a month. Backs up everything, just in case I lose something. Like right now, you can look. It's backing up BSA Radio episode 4. Yeah, it's been doing that all day too because I transferred all that stuff. So that's basically how I back things up. Make sure I always got a copy of everything, at least in a few different places. It's like if anything happens, I know I can probably recover it immediately, if not easier than like trying to piece things together from different folders here and there. It's all organized. It's the one thing in my life is organized. So anyway, Hope that gives you an idea, maybe something you can do. Let me know. Later. That's it.